Here 2. Strawberries or kiwi. Apple. That's not a strawberry or a kiwi. Strawberries and kiwi get too soft. By snack time, nothing but goo. Apple it is. Rainy gives me a wink, then turns to raid the fridge. In response, I push the last of my scrambled eggs around on my plate. This is one of those mornings when I'm supposed to eat a healthy breakfast, get my energy up. I don't feel like it and Rainy knows it. Beneath the table, Luca thrusts his wet nose against the palm of my hand. In his own way, my dog's trying to cheer me up, while Rainy's back is to me. I scoop some of the cold, pebbly eggs into my palm, then return my hand to my lap. This time when Luca noses me, I open my fingers and deliver the treat. Now at least one of us is happy. I'm not supposed to feed Luca human food. He's a former police officer, Quincy likes to remind me, a trained member of law enforcement. He had to retire at 5, having torn his ACL twice in 1 year. Basically, Luca has a bum knee, not bad enough to hinder him in civilian life, but not strong enough for active duty. Now Luca is my partner. Quincy got him from a cop friend, a year after I arrived at Rainy and Quincy's house. It's my responsibility to take care of Luca. I feed him, exercise him, and give him his daily joint supplements. I also learned Dutch. I never knew this, but the German shepherds used in police and military training mostly come from Europe, where the bloodlines are purer. Luca came from the Netherlands, so his initial training was in Dutch. His canine officer continued giving his commands in Dutch and now it's my turn. Do I sound good in Dutch? I have no idea, but Luca doesn't seem to mind. He listens to me very intently. I like that about Luca. He's a very good listener, and I sleep better at night when Luca is stretched out beside me. Another no-no. Of course, police canines should be confined to their kennels when off duty. Then, when you let them out, they know it's time to work. Dogs like their kennels, Quincy has explained to me many times. Just because Luca is retired is no reason to ignore 5 years of training. Something, blah, blah, blah. Quincy is very good at lecturing, and I'm a very good foster daughter. I nod obediently at all the right places, while continuing to take Luca out of his kennel to sleep with me at night. Rainy cast the deciding vote. I overheard her telling Quincy to let it go. Luca seemed fine and I was sleeping better. Why mess with it? But I understood what she meant, because some nights, Luca leaves me to search out Rainy instead. By now, I understand how much Quincy likes his logic and routine. For Rainy and me, however, life is a bit more complicated for us. I don't call my foster parents, maybe soon to be adoptive parents, mom and dad, some fosters. They insist on these things. But I was 10 by the time I arrived in this house and had already been placed in too many homes to buy into the instant family bit. Quincy's full name is Pierce Quincy, but everyone calls him Quincy, even Rainy, so I do, too. He's older than most foster dads, in his 60s, but he carries it well. He and Rainy are out running each morning, plus Quincy still works. Once upon a time he was an FBI profiler. That's how he met Rainy. She was a deputy right here in Bakersville when there was a school shooting. Quincy helped with the case and they've been together ever since. Now Quincy is retired from the FBI and Rainy has retired from policing. Instead, they work together, consulting on cold cases or weird murders outside a police department's normal purview. Basically, they're experts in monsters, which is maybe how they ended up with me. Rainy doesn't like it when I say such things. I'm just a kid. She likes to remind me, my job isn't to be perfect, but to learn from my mistakes. Some days, that's harder than you'd think. My parents are dead. I don't have any surviving aunts, uncles, grandparents, just a brother, 4 years older than me. I remember him, kind of, the night my parents died. He went away. No one talks about him, and me being me, I'm not the kind to ask. That would be opening up, as Quincy would say with his droll smile. Let's not go nuts. In the foster world, being familyless isn't terrible. It means I'm free to be adopted, which, when I was 5 and arriving at the first home with nothing but a black trash bag of clothes and threadbare stuffies, made me highly placeable. It wasn't a bad house, either. I mean, the foster seemed nice enough. I have trauma, post-traumatic stress. In the beginning, at least, I was assigned therapy twice a week. My fosters had to take me, all a part of the plan developed by the family counselor. But I'm not good at therapy. I don't like to talk. I color. When I was 5, the lady counselor encouraged drawing, especially pictures of my family, except I never drew a family of 4. I always sketched 2 people, a bigger kid and a little kid, my older brother and me. "Where are your parents?" the lady counselor would ask me, but I never had an answer. I don't sleep well, the trauma again, and sometimes, even when I know better, I do bad things. I just do. Impulse control. Apparently, I don't have much, and those first fosters, the nicer they were, the less I could stand them. I don't think that's the trauma. I think that's just me. I'm a little bit broken inside. There are reasons, I'm sure, but having spent the past 13 years being me, I'm not as convinced as the therapist that the reasons really matter. I mean, if the handle snaps off your coffee mug, do you ask it why it broke, or do you just glue it back together? This is Rainie's philosophy, as well, and I like it. We are all a little bit broken, she tells me, the reason she doesn't sleep at night, but we all work on fixing ourselves. I like Rainie and Quincy. I've been in this house 3 years now, long enough for them to decide to keep me, warts and all. I have Luca in my own room and somewhere in Georgia, a soon-to-be adoptive big sister, Kimberly, with her husband and 2 kids. In November, if all goes as planned, her daughters will be my nieces, which is kind of funny, given that they are my age, but I like them, at least as much as I like anyone. I'm lucky, I know that, and I'm working really hard on gluing and improving and impulse controlling, but some days, it's still hard to be me. I haven't seen Quincy yet this morning. Lately, he's been holed up in his office, working on his project. He won't talk about it, but Rainie and I suspect he's writing a book. His memoirs, Techniques for Profiling. At dinner, Rainie and I have been amusing ourselves, and maybe him, by suggesting titles for this unknown great work. Rainie's favorite, Fibs from a Phoebe. My favorite, Old Man with Boring Stories to Tell. He hasn't confessed yet. Quincy is definitely one of those guys who's mastered the art of silence. Now, Rainie, if Quincy's the quiet one, then Rainie is the emotional one. At least, her face is easier to read, and she's pretty. Long, thick red-brown hair, blue-gray eyes. She dresses casually, jeans and sweater in the winter, capris and tank top in the summer, but somehow, she always looks put together, at ease. At summer camp, she would be the girl everyone would want to get to know. Me, on the other hand, one look and you know I'm a foster kid. I definitely don't have Rainie's reddish hair or Quincy's bright blue eyes. Nope. I've got dirt brown hair that flips in directions I can't even predict. Jug handle ears, dull hazel eyes, not to mention bony knees and elbows and a too thin face. Rainie tells me I will grow into myself. Give it time. You want to know a secret? I love Rainie and Quincy. I really want them to become my real life forever and ever parents. I want to stay in this house. I want to spend every day with Luca by my side. But I never say these words out loud. Not even the day Rainie and Quincy sat me down and told me they had started adoption procedures. Not a talker. Remember? I like to think they already know how I feel, being experts in monsters and all. Rainie has returned to the kitchen island. She places an apple in the blue insulated lunch bag, then folds over the top, sealing it shut. Done. I can't help myself. I sigh heavily. I don't want to go today. I don't want to do what they've decided I should do. Quincy is a big believer in tough love. Rainie, on the other hand, she's not gonna relent, but at least she feels bad about it. It might be fun. She tries now. I roll my eyes at her. Eggs are gone. I push my fork through little puddles of maple syrup, drawing elaborate designs around random pancake crumbs. You like to swim. I don't dignify this with an eye roll. Rainie returns to the table, sits down beside me. If you could do anything you wanted today, what would it be? Stay home, play with Luca. Charla, you've done that every day this summer. You and Quincy have run most mornings this summer. You still got up and ran today. It's swim camp. 4 hours at the local. Why you can do this? I give Rainie a look. I want it to be tough, or sarcastic, or something, but for just one moment, I can't do this. I suck at this, which is why they're making me go. Not to improve my swimming, who cares about that, but to work on that whole playing well with others thing. Another one of my broken bits. I don't want to socialize with other kids. I don't trust them. I don't like them, and best I can tell, the feeling's mutual. So there. Leave me with Luca. I love Luca, who's once again licking my hand and whining sympathetically under the table. Charla, if you let me stay home, I'll do chores. I whisper. I'll clean my room, the entire house. I'll work on learning responsibility. Quincy loves responsibility. 1 week, 4 hours each morning. Who knows, you might even make a friend. Wrong thing to say. Now I am miserable and self-conscious. Rainie seems to get it. She sighs, squeezes my hand. Give it 2 days, honey. If you still hate it by Wednesday, Rainy pushes back her chair. Come on, grab your swim bag. Time to get this show on the road. I rise to standing, dead girl walking. Luca falls in step beside me. Where's Quincy? I ask as we head for the front door. Phone, new case. I ask, already more excited for a potential homicide than swim camp. Nat, local call. Nothing that exciting around here. Rainy opens the front door. Try smiling, she advises me. It's as good a start as any. I plaster a grimace on my face, then trudge out in the scorching heat. Luca takes up position on the front porch, where he will wait till I return. Except for a second, Luca isn't watching Rainy and me head to the car. His attention has gone left. He's staring off at something in the woods. A squirrel, deer, prized stick? I follow his gaze, and feel the fine hairs prickle at the back of my neck. Come on, Rainy tells me, load up, but I'm still staring at nothing in the woods, shivering for reasons I can't explain. Let's go. Rainy prods again. Reluctantly, I get into the car, leaving my dog, still on watch, behind me.